Hey everyone, I got the new Dualsense Edge. I felt like trying it out since I got the Victrix one and I wanted to see the differences with a native Sony Pro controller versus a third party one. Under this box is just going to be the manual. Like the accessories are going to be in the case with the controller. It has enough room to carry everything, which is nice. The material itself, it feels like a nice hard plastic. It's kind of, I'd say it's the same one that the controller itself has. That's like a charging port. You can charge the controller from the case, which is kind of cool. Keep it nice and protected. Just open the zipper up real quick. So the controller's also protecting that little plastic or whatever you call it. So right away, the first thing I noticed was the touchpad. It definitely looks more engraved and premium. It has a nice weight to it. I noticed these extra buttons. And yeah, it feels good. It feels a little heavier than the standard PlayStation 5 controller. On the back are these little slider buttons. They're gonna let you adjust how far the controller goes back. It feels super nice, actually. I think I like it a little better than the Victrix one. This release button will pop off this plastic cap, and then when that's off, you can take out the thumbsticks. So they won't just slide off. There's these little metal levers. They feel super nice. Feel like really premium. You don't have to take both off. I didn't know that. You just take one off at a time if you want to swap out the sticks. But I mean, yeah, they feel nice. They're not I figure what they're called, but they're not the anti-drift ones. But hopefully, I mean, you can just buy these for like 20 bucks if they do get drift. So it's better than buying a whole $70 controller. And then yeah, there's no audible noise when you put them in, but when you do pull the lever down, it sounds pretty nice. And then you just pop this in, back in, make sure it lines up, and it'll have a nice click. So the thumbsticks are removable. You just pop them right off. So the standard ones are like inverted. They're kind of like the regular PS5 ones, which is honestly my preference. You're gonna have a tall version and a short version, so that way they stick out a little more. Or the short ones are the same height as the standard ones. It looks like, and so yeah, they'll give you the option between those two. And yeah, they just pop right in also. Right, and it does have the standard speaker and mic plug-in on the bottom. Comes with a nice premium braided Type A to Type C cable to charge it, and it has like that little pouch, so it'll like kind of lock it in the case. But yeah, I'll set that aside. I already have a Type C plugged in. These are the back buttons. These are apparently called the half dome back buttons. There's no indicator like left or right, so I guess you could just kind of slide them on either side. It won't matter. But yeah, it's just like magnetic. Just pops right in. You can hear it click a little. And then this is the other type of back button. This one is called a lever back button. And these ones do indicate which side they go in, so left or right. You'll see a little square, and you gotta kind of line it up. And yeah, it'll just go in. The camera works not the best, my bad. But they feel good. I like it. Having the extra buttons can come in kind of handy. I've been playing a lot of Wild Hearts, and heal is on the up D-pad. So I keep buying the back buttons to like that. That way I can still move my character without having to move my finger up to the D-pad and heal like that. So it's a useful example of the back buttons. I still wish they could just be their own existing buttons and not just only be remapped to pre-existing buttons. But maybe one day. So this is like a lock for the USB. I was gonna use the one it came with, but I already have the other one. I was curious if other cables would fit in here, which it did, which is cool. So yeah, you just pop it open and line it up. Nice thing about Type C is it doesn't matter what direction. And yeah, it'll have a lock feature. So you can see the little claws come out. And it'll lock into those little openings on the side of the controller. So you lock it and yeah, it'll just keep it there. And yeah, you can see the controller is powered on right away. And if I press it, it'll just connect to the console. And yeah, it just sets up a little, or pops up a little thing saying set it up. So real quick, I wanted to see the, remember it has that little port on the top. I wanted to try charging it through that. all good. Pretty cool, I guess. So I believe this will be the last thing before I get to the software, setting it up. Apparently this is for the storage. You can hold an extra analog stick in the case itself. You can buy them for 20 bucks. Obviously it won't come with one. But yeah, I mean it fits it, and then it pulls out really easy. And then it didn't feel like I was breaking anything. A little hard to put in, but easy to take out. So this is what should show up once you plug it into your console. It'll recognize it right away as the new Edge one, and it'll walk you through a setup, which is nice. You don't need to plug it into a PC and update it or anything. It'll do it all through the console, which is one of the benefits of first-party controller with the PlayStation. So right here, it's telling you to use the function buttons. Those are the two in front of the joysticks or under them. Those cannot be rekey bound or remapped or whatever you want to call it. Those are going to be only for like shortcuts, quick access. So right here you could press the function button and triangle, circle, X, or square to easily switch your profiles. And then like the menu shows, you can also adjust volume and the balance between your game audio and your party chat audio. So the default profile is just pretty much what your standard PlayStation is going to be. So you got to make your own. And yeah, in here you can change all your keybinds or remap them. You can remap it to anything on the controller. You can't just have it as an extra button, which is what I thought these controllers did at first. So I was a little disappointed, but I've found a use for the extra buttons. I actually enjoy having extra buttons now. It's actually super convenient in some games. And of course, if you go all the way down, you can just turn the button off. You can just disable them. You can disable the touchpad if you want. Like, it gives you a lot of freedom. So once you're done with this profile, you can assign it to one of the shortcuts. So function and circle. And yeah, it just tells you right there, press function and options to always go back to the assignment or like the customization thingy again. So this is actually my favorite part of this controller, is messing with Deadzones. I always mess with them in games, but you can just have them set up on the controller itself, which is super freaking cool. This is something that the Victrix could not do, and it makes me love this controller right away. And so the Deadzones, like you can kind of see, right? Like once you reach a certain outward point of on the joysticks, the sensitivity will increase. So like your camera will like fly, basically. And then the dead zone itself, you can adjust right here. So you can see I'm moving the analog stick a little bit. And then once I get out of that dead zone, that's when the controller will react. Like the game will react to your input. So I thought that's freaking awesome. I really wish the Victrix had something like that. And then you even have a dead zone for the triggers, which is freaking cool. You can do both triggers individually, or you can just press the apply setting and do them both. So yeah, you can adjust the front end of the dead zone and the back end of the dead zone. I don't know what you would call them, but yeah. So that one's cool, but the joystick one is my favorite. Vibration intensity and then trigger effect intensity. I think this is like something to do with the haptic feedback. I'm not 100% sure. I know some games like during certain weapons, the trigger will be like super hard to pull down. Not super hard, but like it'll have a little more weight to it if you want to pull it down. So I think that's what that is. So one of my favorite things about this is it just connects to the console wirelessly, and you can wake up your console from rest mode. And I'm happy about that because if you've seen my Victrix unboxing or whatever, the Victrix cannot wake it up from rest mode. You have to physically get up and wake up your console. And it uses a dongle. It's not Bluetooth. So this one is Bluetooth like the standard PS5 controllers, which is awesome. So yeah, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll try and answer them.